Okay everybody, well today we're going to make leek and chicken soup. And what I've done is I've cut off the tops of the leeks and I'm going to soak them to make sure that there's no sand in them, and then we're going to put them into the pot. After that we're going to get my chicken and we're going to put that in, and I'll show you what needs to get done next. As you can see, I went in and I very lightly skimmed the top of the water to get all of the leeks and put them into my pot. Now we're going to wash off our chicken and then we're going to put it into the pot on top of the leeks. Okay, well here's our chicken, and what I've done is I have cut off some of the excess skin here because of the fact that it has some pin feathers in it, as you can see right there. I always remove all of that. A lot of cooking shows don't talk to you about cleaning your birds, but I do. And then you should always look on the inside of the bird. Now this is a vein or an artery, and I usually take all of that out of the inside cavity of the bird itself and make sure that there's no leftover organs or things like that. And of course, naturally, you can understand I also take the kidneys out, which you can see I've removed part of the kidney there. Inside this packet is the giblets, what they refer to as the giblets. It's the neck, the gizzard, the liver, and the heart usually. And I'll probably put that into a separate pan. I have pups, so I feed that to the pups so that they can have their little bit of food. And what we're going to do is we're going to take this now and we're going to place it inside our pot, just like that, and we'll come back and show you what seasoning we're going to put in here next. Okay, well, our chicken's in there, our leeks are in there, and I just put in about 6 of these small prunes, and we're going to put that in. We're going to put in about half a teaspoon of dried thyme, 1 bay leaf, and about 6 or 5, depending on your taste, whether or not you like it, of halved garlic cloves. And then we're going to add salt and pepper to this, and we're going to cover the bird with enough water to just cover it. And then we're going to cook it for approximately 1.5 to 2 hours, depending on how large your bird is. Alright everyone, we're moving forward with our soup. And as you can see, it is simmering away, kind of like at a low boil. I'm going to be turning this down because this is a little bit too much of a rolling boil for me. So on your nubs, you'd put it anywhere from simmer to 2 or 3, depending on your stove. Now mine is running a little warm, so I'm going to turn it down to definitely between 2 and simmer. Now the next thing you can do while we're waiting on this to get done is to prepare the rest of your leeks. Now what we did there was we put the upper tops of the leeks in, which are a little tougher, and we're not necessarily going to use that in our soup. What we are going to do is we are going to use the lower portion from here to here where the roots are, and we're going to cut that into about 1/8 to 1/4 inch slice. Now once we do that, we're going to halve those in half, and we're going to put them into some water to soak, because we don't want any dirt or sand to be in our soup, and you don't want to eat that, so we're going to soak it to get rid of all of the soup. As you can see, these are of a circular nature, and they're like an onion. They have several layers, and I'll bring you back when I've sliced them up. You can see here I've cut it to about 1/4 inch thick, and as you look real close at the leek itself, you see there's layers upon layers, just like an onion, but there's usually sand or dirt usually associated somewhere within that, and of course naturally you're going to want to chop off your root end. And as you can see, I have removed our chicken from the pot. And what we're going to do is we're going to pick off all of the bones and put them back into our pot along with any skin, especially the long bones coming off of the leg. And we're going to put this all back into our pot so that it'll enhance the flavor, and the cartilage will thicken the broth up as it simmers down. This is extremely important because it'll all enhance your flavor, and I'll explain that once I've gotten all of my bones off of my meat. Okay, we've added our bones and our skin back into the broth, and we're going to bring it back up to a simmer. And we're going to simmer it for an additional hour. In the meantime, you take your chicken, put some saran wrap over it, and you can put it in the refrigerator until we're ready for it. Once this is done for an hour, we're going to strain it to get all of the juice, the bones separated, and any cartilage that's left. And it will give the soup a much deeper flavor. This is something that a lot of people don't realize, that bone broth is excellent for your health, not only because of the nutrients that are in the bones of any animal, but also it will enhance the flavor of your broth. And this is what we're looking for. Well, moving forward with our soup, now we are down to the portion where we're going to add half of the leeks, some carrots, a little bit more thyme, and about a cup of rice to our broth. Now I have already drained out all of the leeks and bones and anything that was leftover prunes, and now our soup is ready to move forward. So now I'm going to take some of these carrots and I'm going to put them into the soup, and then we're going to take half of these leeks and put them in also, in addition to our thyme and our rice. Once we've done that, we'll give it a good stir, taste the broth for salt and pepper, and adjust the seasoning as needed. Real quick side note, a lot of people are probably going to ask, well, why didn't you put all of the leeks in? The reason why is because you want to have some of the leeks having a little bit of a al dente taste, sort of like a little bit, crunchy, so that you have more of a texture when you're eating your soup. And that just adds to the experience of eating the Scottish Cock-a-Leekie soup. And you'll see once you make it that it does enhance the flavor of the soup itself. After we've got this cooked for about an hour, we're going to come back, and then we're going to add in the rest of our leeks and our chicken, and our soup will be done. It'll be ready to eat. Okay, it's been about an hour, and now we're going to add the rest of our ingredients. This is our leeks and our chicken. And I'm going to pull this out here, and we're just going to dump it all in. Sorry about the camera, but I don't have anybody to hold my camera today, so this is the way we're going to do it. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to put this back over on the heat for approximately 1/2 hour, and we're going to stir it, and we're going to allow that chicken to warm up and the uncooked leeks to cook for approximately 1/2 hour, and then our soup will be done. We'll be ready to plate it up and eat our soup. Okay, here's our Cock-a-Leekie soup with our garlic bread on the side. Let's take a look at a real good taste of this real quick. Excellent. Excellent. Now, keep one thing in mind. This is not exactly traditional Cock-a-Leekie soup, Scottish, because I put carrots in, and I need to get rid of some of the carrots, so this is the way I made it. But original traditional Cock-a-Leekie soup does not contain anything but except garlic, prunes, the leeks, and the chicken, and that's pretty much the gist of what the recipe for the traditional Cock-a-Leekie soup is. So enjoy the recipe and have a good day.